Yo, what's good? Supreme the Almighty back in the building. Got the fam, Creative Juices music on the show tonight. It's going down. We're just going to be chopping it up and talking about some of their newest joints and whatnot that they just dropped. Shout out to the sponsors, you know what I mean? Snow Goons, Creative Juices Music, and Lee Sound International, Blaze 'em Up Radio, Smiley the Ghetto Child, Vinyl Frontier, you know what I mean? Peace and blessings to everybody. Just waiting for the homie to hop up in here. We get the show started. But it's crazy. Yo. Shout out to everybody that subscribed to the YouTube, you know what I mean? Everybody that's been following me on Instagram. I appreciate all y'all. You know what I mean? Once again, yo, if you're trying to get on the show, man, just inbox me. You know what I'm saying? Inbox me that real hip hop shit, you know what I mean? If it's trap music ain't gonna get played, I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? Yeah. Your prime prolific piece, brother. Yeah, I know the show is looking kind of a little weird right now, but I'm on my way to get my son. So, you know what I mean, trying to multitask out here. Family first, you know what time it is. Yeah. Just waiting for the homie to hop up in here. Show on the road. Make sure to check out the new Creative Juice music, you know what I mean? Like, the joints that they've been dropping, they're fucking crazy. Make sure to support their page and all that. Word. Make sure to check out that new Benny Holiday joint too. You know what I'm saying? The cat featuring Kasky and Cremro Smith. It's on the Snow Goons joint. Be sure to check that out. Peace and blessings to everybody once again. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for the homie to hop up in here and get the show on the road. Word. But if you know anybody that's dope, man, tag them or have them hit my inbox, yo, if you want to be on the show so we can discuss their album, their projects. You know what I mean? Anything like that. Anything hip hop. You don't even got to be an MC. You know what I mean? Like, you could be a DJ, a hip hop DJ. You could be a beat producer, any of the above. As long as it's hip hop, you could be on the show and we could discuss it. You know what I mean? I just personally don't rock with trap music and all that, so you know what I mean? I ain't gonna have no trap artists on the show. You know what I mean? No disrespect, whatever. I just don't fucks with them. I don't rock with the trap artists, man. It's just trash. I'm sorry, like I just don't. Like, I'm authentic hip hop. Everybody that knows me knows I roll with the hip hop shit. And I'm keeping it that way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, once again, we're just waiting for the homie to hop up in here. Going to pick up my son real quick. While waiting for the homie. Hopefully he remembers. Hopefully he remembers we changed the time slot for the show. There we go. Peace and blessings to everybody tuned in.
I didn't forget you. What's up?
Word. Peace. I was gonna say, I hope he remembers this shit.
Nah, of course. Of course.
Yeah,
what's going on,
pick
man?
up my son right quick and whatnot.
All right, so what's up, man?
Nah,
Thanks
appreciate you, man. Appreciate your time, man. You a busy man.
It was in the studio today, working on some Respect to God, mixing and mastering, and a couple other things, getting the new single that we put out together, and a couple last second things.
Yeah, that new joint y'all just dropped, man. That shit was bumping, yo.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's a part of a project that the whole project was done, but we decided to do like something different and do the rollout as individual tracks instead of put it out as a full album and kind of let each song kind of live a little bit. Phaser, what up, man? Shout out to everyone in Greece. What up? Yeah, kind of try to do things different. Like, let people, anyone that's followed my music, they know sometimes I'll put an album out and then it might be 3 years before I work with the next artist. And I'm working every day, so it's crazy. Prime Prolific, what up, man? Much respect. Thank you, man. Yeah, and it's you know, I'm in the studio all the time and we're always working, but sometimes the music comes out far between. So it was like kind of an effort to just kind of give the fans something back and not really even make it about the bigger pursuit to put albums out and deal with the distribution and everything else and situate things. As important that is as that is. But yeah, just an effort to put music out for the fans and keep something consistently coming out. So we want to do something fun and have weekly. All this will come out as an album eventually, but now it's just kind of like giving something weekly, trying to do something fun, and kind of tapping in with people that listen to the music.
Well,
and stuff like that.
it's definitely a good look, man. Y'all three really wreck shit, man. So I'm glad to see y'all working like the way you are again. Cause like, I mean, y'all are a great team. You, Alucard, and I don't know, I'm Jace and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all be smashing the mic. So I love to see y'all three doing that. Even as a single. Like, yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be like coming out as like an album, but I like how y'all doing the little series where you putting out the singles and shit.
Yeah, we're gonna still put it together as an album. These tracks are essentially from an album. We're just kind of putting them out just slowly, like we said. And yeah, man, you know, I've had a lot of opportunities and continue to have a lot of opportunities to work with a lot of people, and I am working with a lot of new artists also on the side. But as far as being in the studio and just recording and sitting there and kind of just working with that dynamic, there's no people I'd rather do it with than compared to Jason Alucard. You know, it's just that's kind of like my brothers, and we've been working together for so long that it's like, you know, it actually got weird for me because I had a couple weeks where I was in the studio working on beats. And no one was in the studio, just myself. And I had like producer's block. I'm used to them just standing over me and that kind of that immediate pressure of someone's looking for something to feed off of. So it's, you know, you're not trying to rush it, but you want to have some sort of rhythm in the room. So there's some sort of energy going. And then so it's kind of funny because it sounds like an unideal situation for a lot of producers, having a lot of people standing over them and kind of expecting something immediately, but it kind of became the way that I work. So it was almost awkward for me when I had some studio time where there wasn't a whole room full of people and just trying to make something happen. So yeah, I like having those guys around. So it's good energy for me to feed off of. Halix is someone else that also falls in that category, just someone that, you know, I can be in the studio with and just lock in with, and kind of creative flow of ideas and exchange of energy. And yeah, those are artists I like to work with. Skanks from Bankai, that's someone new that that I just started working with. We're doing a project. We already got like 6-7 songs in. Skanks the Rap Martyr from Bankai fam. Dude that's been around for a long time, worked with a lot of people, part of a huge conglomerate. And yeah, man, just a really dope artist. And again, someone's just like, yeah, there's a good exchange of like energy. Those are the people I like to work with. If I work with an artist and we don't kind of click on that level on the spot, like there's not going to be a second track. I can't. I got to feed off of another artist's energy, and I hope that they're in a position to feed off of what I'm doing. And if you don't have that immediate exchange, then you're trying to force something and it's unnatural. And I'm not really looking to make I'm not looking to make unorganic music. I'm not looking to send files to people. You know, there's certain situations where you make that happen where you can't be in the same place. But yeah, it's a different dynamic. Who's checking in here? Peace to everyone that's checking
I mean,
in.
That's what hip hop's about. That organic feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was all about. So you know what I'm saying? You take that out of the equation. Yeah. The music kind of sound. It might still bump though, but like, you know what I mean? It will sound kind of watered down. It sound like it will sound like something the components missing. So you know what I'm saying? Like that transferring the files between people and stuff. I mean, I know it's convenient because a lot of people can't get in the studio with shit, but like, yeah, that organic feeling, especially with you, like I said, with you, Jason Alucard, man, you could tell the vibe is there. You know what I'm saying? You could tell the feel is there. You could tell everything is organic. So,
yeah, I feel like, you know, I feel like I can immediately hear when you hear an artist that's just like they got sent the beat, they don't even know the producer, there's no actual chemistry between those two people, the two strangers making the song. And, you know, that's cool. I mean, sometimes you have an opportunity to work with someone you don't know, or, you know, but that doesn't interest me. That's not something I'm really looking to do. If I'm going to really dive in with someone as far as building music and creating, I like to create concept projects and go a little, so it's more personal. So I like to work with people on that level. I don't want to do throwaway things and just kind of just place lyrics to beats and things like that. It doesn't really excite me, doesn't do much for me, so I stay away from that shit these days. I'm getting too old for that shit, you know?
It's funny you say that. That's crazy. You working with the homie Skanks. Yeah, I've known Skanks for a minute, so.
Word. Shout out to Skanks. Yeah. I saw you. You did an interview with him a couple months back.
That's the fan. Right? Word.
I saw him. Yeah, man. That dude's a monster, man. Really, really dope. It's been cool having him come. We kind of Wednesdays are usually the day that I work with Halix. Fridays are usually the day I work with Jason Alucard, and Thursdays are kind of becoming the day to work with Skanks. So it's cool, man. It's and that's something that happened extremely organically through being in the studio a couple times and just chopping it up and like, yo, we got to do something. Then that leading to sending a beat, him just knocking a track out, which kind of became the anthem to his series that he's doing. He's doing like a little YouTube series. And that song's instrumental kind of became the anthem to that project, which has been really cool. Yo, is that snow in the background?
Upstate, bro. It's crazy up in here.
You got snow? What the fuck? I haven't seen snow this. I mean, you're not that far up, right? You're in Peekskill, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're all the way up there. We don't have to reveal where you're at,
pretty much where NUT is. Like that's where my brother.
Okay.
So that's where we at.
Yep. Damn. So you got snow up there. Yeah, you guys are it's like another climate 2 hours out of the city.
That's it.
But I'm surprised to see it.
That's crazy. It's been snowing for a couple hours.
What up?
Jace? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I love about y'all chemistry, man. Like I said, Jace is a good brother, man. Like he mad for he be mad at me rolling this shit all day sometimes and shit he be doing.
I'll tell you what, man. Jace is someone that he doesn't have the time or effort, or really, I'm speaking for him, and correct me if I'm wrong. You can jump in, Jace, but I don't think he really gives a shit to. I don't think it's but his stories, man, the kind of things that man's went through and his personal stories, some of them are hard to hear as far as how heartbreaking they are. Some of them are comical because his stories are often not the type of story where he paints himself to be the hero. He can kind of tell his stories where he might have in that situation not came out ahead, and just the honesty to that, that everyone can relate to, because life is full of a lot of situations, but that man's gone through a lot of stuff, and he needs a podcast, man, to tell his life story or write a book or something. I promise. I've heard a couple stories over the years from just knowing him personally, and it's incredible, man. Hint, Jace.
He be telling me some sad stories and shit sometimes, and I'll just be like, God, that's crazy.
He's got some sad stories. He's got some very sad stories, without a doubt. Life is crazy. Jace has lived a lot, and he's experienced a lot. And he's a great brother. Someone that I'm very happy to call friend.
He's a good homie, man. He's a good dude, and he a legend. He a legend in my book. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be all dick riding or nothing, but
he is. The arsonist,
man.
Yeah.
Man, listen. But like I said, and then you dropped the Helix album, you know what I mean? That shit was bumping, that shit was dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yo, hold on, we got this dude wrote in the comment, "We all lovers be," and and then look at the correction, you fucking jerk.
Yeah, here you go. Because I was talking to him earlier. I'm like, yo, you should hop in if you can. He's like, I'll see if I'm awake. I'm like, come on, you old ass niggas, get up on this show, bro.
Old man Jace.
Word, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the arsonist for sure. Fucking staple. As I sell my Fondle record collection on eBay. So yeah,
I'm telling you, arsonist, yeah. Jace in general, man, like I said, like all the stories he told me and everything else, man, he's just he's been through it all, and the fact that he's still dropping flames, it just goes to show you, man. Age don't mean shit in this game, and you know what I'm saying. So
no. Doesn't. Just like in athletics, you can be a 78-year-old man and be in a wheelchair. You can be a 78-year-old man and run the triathlon. The music stuff, if you keep your mind sharp, these guys stay sharp. 14 years of rap, greatest ever. That was a great joint, but 14 years of rap turned to 28 years of rap real quick, because that came out in 1999. So
I ain't go fucking front, man. You know what I mean? Like, Gore-Tex and Jace is the homies, but I can't front, man. Jace's verse was fucking the hardest on 14 years of rap. Like, it's just
he kind of, I don't know, he kind of, yeah, yeah, I feel like he took the gold on that personally, but yeah, I'm a little biased, but yeah, that's, yeah, Jice
I
killed
think
that
it was
for
just the
sure.
energy. It was
Back in the
the
long,
energy he brought when he was even in the fucking video, like you know, with the bouncy hair all flopping
yeah,
around. He was going, he was going
yeah.
in.
You see the stickers we did, 90s Jice and the t-shirt, the 90s Jice t-shirt that
Yeah, that shit is
Alucard did the
dope.
logo for.
Yo, speaking of t-shirts, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Make
it's just
sure
all
y'all, you know what I mean?
oh
Make sure you go to the
shit.
fucking website and shit, get your gear and shit. Shit's fly, man.
Good man. You're
You
always
got to,
repping. I
man. You
appreciate
know
it,
what I
man.
mean? You gotta rock with who's fam, and you know what I'm saying, who actually appreciates what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because I appreciate what you do. I be telling that to every person I can on the show. I'm like, yo, ID is fucking like, I don't know what it is, but it just seems like you put in so much work and you deserve like a fucking trophy or some shit. Like you, you know what I mean?
Thank you, man. Yeah, I just need fucking 10,000 more people like you, man, and fucking and you can hold the trophies. But shit, man, fucking thank you, man. Yeah, we love what we do, so we do it a lot, and I think because of that, we've got an extensive catalog, and it goes back. We didn't start this shit last night, you know. We've been doing this for a long ass time, been around. So, yeah, the collective it goes deep. Plus being a producer and just with the label and just being hands on with so many other artists and so many projects. It's, you know, it's been a blessing, man. This is what I love to do, is what, you know, me and a group of people around me have been very passionate about for a long time. And we're lucky to still be doing it. You know what I mean? We're lucky to still be doing it. A couple of the homies can't still be doing it with us. So it's even more important for us to, you know, carry on that legacy, carry the torch, and yeah, just continue to rep. I think that's everything in life. No matter what you do, doesn't matter what your walk is. It's all about, I really like people that are passionate about what they do. You know what I mean? Anyone that reps whatever it is they're doing. You could be a biologist and rep hard and be really into that, and that still does something to me. You know what I mean? I like people that really are about what they do. That's a passion that I connect with and resonate. And the circle of people I do music with, they're very, very passionate. They live this, sleep this, every way that you could, you know, describe it. Someone like Halix, when she's not in the studio, she works in music therapy in hospitals, which is something that she implemented in her own life, but now is someone that works with other people using music as a form of actual therapy. Within the project House of Halix, there is a theme about music therapy, and it's not even just an ideology or a concept or being philosophical. It was actually something that played a part in her life that led her to better health, and something that she's actually now involved with in teaching other people and you know, creating outlets for other people. So yeah, it's great. Yeah, when she's not there doing that, she's doing open mics and poetry and everything else. You know, it's I love people that really are all about this stuff. Very creative people. You know,
It
that's
was
the type
a,
of people I like to
it
work
was
with.
yo, so many dope projects. Like the videos are crazy, man. Like I honestly feel like definitely one of some of the most artistic videos I've seen. Like very visually, I don't even know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. It's just a whole nother like, you know what I mean? It's like hopping into 3D, like you know what I'm saying? Like you just watching some ill shit. Like, and I think it's just also there was a lot of deep shits. That's kind of why it had me a little bit because the videos were so like wild, but the messages in it were like, yo, what is she saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's she saying? Like,
You just hit the nail on the head. You know, it was an intentional thing because Halix's album is black and white. The artwork is black and white. The style is very, it's dark. The BPM is 77, slow, and the videos are very colorful and they're upbeat and they have this whimsical, childish kind of vibe. And the director, uh, who did all of them, had worked for MTV for years, and he was involved in a lot. So a lot of like stop still, a lot of creative animation went into it. So it's very juxtaposed. That was a really good observation, man. I don't know if everyone picked up on that, and it was very intentional. And I think going into book 2, you're going to see a little bit darker with the videos, but then some of the music's going to get a little lighter. Some of the BPMs are going to get a little faster. Some of the content's not going to be as book 2 goes into a kind of a little bit of a different transition out of the circus, where it's still in the circus, but it's still kind of getting into a spiritual aspect. And there's some other things. One of the songs we just did called Skeleton Key, that's, you know, a song I'm really excited about. It's very bouncy and upbeat, and it's got a really cool hook. And it's a little bit different from some of the first from the songs in the first album, but follows suit just in style, in wordplay, and just, you know, the creative components. We're really set on, we're not trying to do what everyone else is doing intentionally. You know what I mean? That's kind of easy to do, to follow suit and hop on the bandwagon. It's also not an easy thing to step outside of the box and take risks and do something different, because it's not always received, right? You know, that's not always what people are looking for. People like things that are comfortable. People like things that sound like the other thing, that they can identify. Oh, that sounds like this. Oh, I like that because that's like this, you know? And we don't want to do that. We want to create our own sound. Also, to me, like, you know, when you think of artists that really stand out, it's like that person had a sound, that person, that go-to. Or, you know, the famous artists that I can think of from any genre, from any period of time, they had a distinct sound. And that's what you know, Al Green came on, you know that's Al Green. A RZA beat plays, you know it's RZA. Primo, you know that's Primo, Alchemist, whoever it is. You know, Muggs, they got a sound. They made a sound, and they're very consistent. And it's an identifiable sound, and you can home in with that. And, you know, those are artists that I looked up to, and those artists I continue to look up to, and that's the kind of that's the kind of path that I want to walk. You know, I don't want to make someone else's sound. You know, I think for years, I think when you try to become an artist or anything you do creative, you're inspired by other people. And then in that inspiration, there's emulation, where you're like, okay, I loved Wu-Tang. Let me try to make this Wu-Tang kind of beat, you know? And then then you get to this point of like, oh shit, I could hear you. Maybe you achieve that for yourself, whether other people hear it or not. But then you start to develop your own sound, or you start to hear something, you know, you might have aspects of that play in. Like I'm sure a lot of people will say there are some, you know, RZA influences and stuff, and there 100% are. But I think as years go by, you start to home in more with your sound and what you want, and creating your own ways of doing things. And I'm one of those bugged out people who's a producer who doesn't know music theory, who doesn't play guitar, who doesn't play bass, who doesn't play a piano. You know, I just like sound, and I like manipulating sound. And then with that, there's no like restraints or like constrictions, and like, you know, I probably do things that in music theory people could sit down and be like, what the fuck, man, those notes don't even go together. But then sometimes I sit down with those people and I play it, and then I'm like, no, you know, maybe help me scale the bass so it's more into it. And they're like, nah. The like in synchronicity of that makes it kind of cool, you know? So it's, you know, at the end of the day, it's what sounds good. You know, the only rules, there are no rules. And I think there's like confines and safe places to stay within that to make things, you know, still really dope. But yeah, I want to create our own sound, develop things. I've got a couple tools that I use that I can make my own sounds, and we record our own. We've got some bugged out processes that we're working into the music, where we're not entirely just sampling anymore. We're making our own kind of samples and things like that. Sometimes if anyone's watched my Instagram, sometimes I'll record some of it, but I try not to give too much of it away, because I want to really keep it unique.
Yeah, no spoilers and shit. Word.
Yeah.
I would say that though. Your beats are funky as shit, man. Like there's so much going on in the beat, but it's so musically like it's sophisticated. Like you can tell when someone's just like looping shit, you know what I mean, just throwing random shit in there. But when you listen to your beats, you can tell it's very sophisticated. The drums are very sophisticated. The way you construct everything together, and even your melody choices. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't always have the same beat. Like when I listen to your shit, it's never really the same beat. It's not like, oh, okay, you know, say you come with different flavors, different melodics, and it changes the game. Like you said though, with distinction, you guys have your own distinctive sound. Where, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's because I've been listening for a minute and like trying to really like, you know what I mean, be a fan of your music outside of being homies and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah. I can tell as soon, even if someone was to play it, I can hear it. Like, all right, for prime example.
That's awesome. That's a
prime example.
Compliment.
When I heard Snow Goons, I forgot the damn song's name. I always do, but it had UG, Alucard on it, and see, I always forget the damn name. But you know what I mean?
I'm terrible with names.
But I already knew it was you and Alucard. I didn't even have to look at the titles. I didn't have to, and it wasn't even your beat, but I could tell. I was like, yo, yeah, that's ID. I could tell because you flow and how you are. So that's important in hip hop too, because I think sometimes people emulate so much that they get lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Like people can't tell someone from somebody
Yeah.
else because there's no distinction. You know what I mean? There's nothing that separates people from others, and you guys have your own unique style. Even you know what I'm saying? Helix especially has her own flavor. Like even though it might not be to
She does.
everyone's liking, but to be honest with you, I think the message was so important. If it hit one person, that was the importance of it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I think that the people that resonated with Helix with this project
Hmm.
became diehard fans, and I think something interesting that happened is a lot of people's favorite artists became a fan of the project. It's an album that resonated a lot with a lot of other artists. I think people at a high level of creativity kind of saw what she was doing, and it might have surpassed. But what I would say to people that maybe haven't heard yet exactly what's like what they're looking for, I would say to keep listening because I feel like she can cover all spectrums, and I've seen and heard, and some of the things we're working on. I think we're gonna blow people away. There's some crazy shit, crazy things going on. Helix is working with some. I'm not gonna announce some really big artists, and we got some pretty interesting features going on. Not gonna spoil anything yet, no spoilers, but there's gonna be some interesting stuff in the next year or so, and I think it's going to catch people's attention, and I think Helix is going to be a name that keeps ringing bells, and I think more and more people are going to want to hear what's going on, and hopefully that leads back to some of the earlier work as well to hear, because the first project is kind of a bearing of the soul. They're basically poems that she's written for 20 years about her life that are put to these beats, so it's not even written hip hop per se. I don't know what that means in some regards, but like it wasn't written to be hip hop tracks. I didn't make a beat, she wrote to the beat. These were existing songs that she's been developing for years, and the songs are poems, and the poems are stories of her life. So that's deeper than just a quick 16 bars in the studio. It's a different kind of dynamic. So yeah, but I think there's also, some people just want to be able to nod their head and hear something that just resonates with them on a Friday night when they have a beer, a glass of wine, whatever they're doing, or just hanging out. They don't have to be drinking. Yeah, Helix is so creative. There's gonna be so much in store. So yeah, I hope people are gonna go and check that album. Please, if you're listening to this, go and check that album. It's really beautiful. Also, everyone that's checking this out, you can shoot me a direct message. My thing is at Shanty Gallows, or you can go to at CJM Hip Hop. Just send me a DM, and I'm gonna send over a free download for everyone that's tapping in for this. I got digital downloads for anyone that just sends me a direct message. I was going to put that on you, but I was like, that's going to be a burden for you to deal with. And say, let me have you avoid that. Just send me a message, and I'm going to send some free links out to everyone to check out some of the new singles, whatever it is. Hit me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we want people to hear. We want people to hear the music.
Definitely. I
Above all.
mean, yeah, that shit dope. I mean, even the homie Sofa King, yo, like he was that new shit that y'all was promoting too, man. That shit was the slap you shit. Like, man, you got so many dope artists working, and man, I gotta say it though, like I feel like people be sleeping, man. They need to wake the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I'm sorry, I'm not even saying, cause you know what I mean. People get it twisted sometimes, like, oh, well, they sponsoring the show, whatever. He's just saying that. Nah, I'm really not, because me and you spoke before all this popping. I told you I'm a fan of your music. Like, I like how you rap. I like how you produce. You know what I mean? Jice.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's a
I'm
fact.
not gonna
Yep.
sit here and fucking sugarcoat shit. Like, I'd rather keep it real, because if I'm gonna tell someone to listen to something, I have to listen to it myself. Because what sense does it make to me to be like, oh, go listen to this shit? I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah, you don't want
So,
to co-sign anything. Yeah. Nah, and I know you've been tuned in all the way since going up to the NUT
yo, I'm
show, and
surprised
then
you
going
remember that
to
shit. Yeah,
upstate to do
that's
the radio
crazy.
shows.
That's
Of
crazy.
course, I do remember. I do remember. Half the time I was there was out of my mind, so the fact I do remember
Or
is But yeah. Of course, I remember. Nah, it's been a long time that you've been checking in. I appreciate all the energy and love that you sent, and to me, sometimes Fridays. This time I'm just leaving the studio, getting into my. But I'm like, I have to make sure that I make time for this. It's really important to connect with you. I really appreciate, and I follow everything you're doing, man. You started this show up. You've been building it up. You've been getting better and better artists coming on the show, and just continuing to build it. it's really dope, man. And honestly, as much as it's a compliment to you, it's just a great thing to offer for the community. You know, all these artists, all these independent artists, and all these mainstream artists that are looking to promote things. Everyone needs a place, man. Everyone needs a home base. And a lot of the existing home bases over the years, they gradually start to diminish and stuff with some of the sites that were worthwhile, some of the radio shows. You become less platforms become available, and it's amazing that you kind of just, you know, took it on, and that you're creating this platform for a lot of people to spread their music. And I know you work full time, and you're doing this Friday night week, you know, so it's a lot to do, man. It's a testament to you, man. So, you know, salute to you, and thank you for, you know, we lost a good friend recently, Doc Ock, who was someone that kind of had a similar energy to yours, just in the kind of a selfless person within the community that wasn't like a promoter of what they particularly were doing, but was like an active member of the community to put other people on and to share the love for other people. So, you know, rest in peace to Doc Ock, and much love to Doc Ock. And yeah, you know, there's people like you are far between. So, you know,
Yeah,
nothing but
R.I.P.
respect.
Doc Ock, man. Like, I didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
really hang with him, but yeah, like, you know what I mean? We did politics here and there, through our little jokes and this shit, and he was a good dude. So yeah, I got to see that too. Also, shout out to my brother AUT, because like, I feel like he also got slept on. Like, a lot of people need to like wake up with him too, because like he's man, he's a motherfucking encyclopedia when it comes to hip hop. Like,
Oh no, he's a beast. He knows everything. He knows everyone. Nah, that's a good dude, man. Yeah, I got a lot of love for that guy, man. He's a huge, just a really good DJ and a good platform for all. And he's brought people out from the West Coast, and he's just always in the mix. He's doing the stuff with Bumpy Knuckles right now. Like,
he's all over the
he
place.
gets busy, man. That dude,
Word,
he's no joke.
that man, yeah. So I just had to say that too, because we were mentioning the New Ideas original show when when you went up there and shit.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, nah, I mean, because like I said, I appreciate what y'all do too, though, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, I have fun doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's hard for a lot of people to say, like, you know, everybody gets paid and this and that, but honestly, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, it's not really about the money for me as much as, you know what I mean? If it comes in, it comes in. But I'm not worried about that.
But that's how things pop off, is when someone's doing something they love, and then it suddenly starts to become someone because people gravitate to that, and then all of a sudden money presents itself, man. So like, that's you know, stranger things happen, man. So I would keep doing what you're doing. You're a good voice for this, and it's a lot of time to dedicate doing it. But yeah, sometimes you'd be surprised what happens, man. People take notice of this. There's not a lot of people that are giving this much energy into what, you know, this independent art, and there's a gap to be filled. There was a lot of spaces that existed that aren't there, and you know, there's always opportunity in that. So hopefully you're someone that can grab some of that opportunity.
I appreciate
man.
every blessing in general, and at the same time, though, it's like like I said, as a because you know what I mean, as a fan, especially of y'all music, it's like I hate to see, cause even as a kid, when I used to listen to artists and shit, and they would go overlooked. Like, I always say that shit. I'm like, yo, I would love to have to sit down, talk with that person, and get their name out there and shit like that. Now I have the opportunity, so I enjoy it, but at the same time, I'm giving people that opportunity too to get that, you know, whatever exposure they can get out of it. Might not be millions of dollars, might not be millions of fans, but at the same time, it's like one person counts. You know what I mean? Like you said,
Every fan's a valuable thing. And also with independent music, you can have 1,000 diehard fans and have a career for 10 years off of that. If you got 10,000 people that rock with everything you're doing, you know, and I would say that for anyone. I say this to myself, my crew as well, but anyone that's, you know, an upcoming artist, yeah, don't focus on going platinum. Don't focus on 1 million fans. Focus on 1,000 diehard fans. Make that one of your initial objectives. 1,000 diehard fans that are gonna buy every CD, every T-shirt that you put out. And if you put out things on a monthly basis and you continue to provide content and stuff, you can make a nice little living just off of that independently, and be what some people would think are under the radar with relatively low numbers on social media. And you can do really well still, and go tour the world and do things. And from 1,000 fans, if you can get that milestone, you can turn 1,000 to 10,000, and you know, the world's a huge place with millions of, you know, a lot of people, a lot of people. So, you know, yeah, one person's how it starts, right? It's a ripple effect. And if that person's die hard, they're going to tell their friend, you know, they're going to tell someone, they're going to rep it. Someone like you said, you know, you tell everyone that comes on the show. It's, you know, that stuff goes a long way. Word of mouth in a time like this where everything is so watered down. you know, people's actual opinions from the, you know, someone that's a diehard fan. They're saying this is good. That's something that might hold more weight, you know, than just shameless Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you know, social media promotion, which just get watered down and, you know, people get sick of seeing. So yeah, man. Well, you know, but the independent shit's cool, man. Like like, you know, you can be under the radar and not have the constraints of major labels and not have to answer to people and do your own music with your own, you know, with your own will and what you want to do without restrictions, which to me is a beautiful thing. We've had some little opportunities here and there, and they weren't always appealing. And when I dealt with other people and had to answer to other people, I didn't really like that situation. And any artist that I ever worked with, you know, as much as Creative Juices is a label or perceived as a label, it's really a collective and a concept. And no one had any, you know, there was a point where I had some people contact me about, like, how can you let this person say this? This person looks this way. They say this word. They do this. And I was like, you know, first of all, you don't know their story and who they are, and there's more to it. I wouldn't condone anything that was just spreading just like hatred. However, like, I don't censor people. That makes no sense to me. Why would I be someone that's created a platform for artists to put music out and say, you can't say this or you can't do this or whatever? That might not be a concept that I personally agree with or something that I would co-sign, but it doesn't mean that I wouldn't allow for an artist that I work with to kind of have that space to work in the, you know, if I'm doing the project with the artist or it's my production, it's a little different. We might have a back and forth about like where our values stand and our opinions and our ideologies and might want to be on the same page as that. But Creative Juices has been an open platform for a lot of artists that came with albums that I necessarily wasn't involved with the entire album. And you know, freedom of speech is important and creative, you know, there shouldn't be censorship in creativity. This overly politically correct kind of concept, it's nonsense, you know, and especially it's nonsense when applied to art, because art shouldn't be answered for anything. You know, to be creative is to be creative in nature and to say what comes to mind. And also, you know, someone like Alucard, he might brutally murder people on tracks. He might say some really foul shit, you know. It doesn't mean that he's a foul person. That might be his actual release and his dealing with the situation. You know what I mean? So that's an expression of himself. Instead of being on the train every day going to work and actually stabbing someone up, he might have a verse where he's talking about that, and it's actually an outlet. It's literally his music therapy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's beautiful. So, you know, I think it's cool to be in a place where we can do what, you know, whatever we need to do. And we don't have to answer or have any kind of corporate agenda or any sponsors that we have to, you know, for any reasons be politically correct to a certain topic or any, none of that, you know. So I feel blessed for that. I think that's dope. I feel like a lot of people can be under constraints of society and certain things. And I feel like certain things still, like, we want to be decent people, right? We don't want to spread hatred. We want to, you know, we want to spread some positive aspects. But like I said before, you know, there can be even negative underlying things within creativity that still have their place. Like, you know, it doesn't mean that Alucard is saying go out and murder and stab people. What he's saying is, like, I felt that way on the train. Instead of doing that, I just have this verse where I'm, you know, stabbing this person with a pen. and it's, you know, it's creative in that regard. It's like movies, right? You can, you know, are directors to be held accountable for violent movies that, you know, it's a form of art and a depiction, it's storytelling. And yeah, it's a balance of a lot of different things. There's a lot of different ways to go with art. So it's I'm a big advocate of freedom of speech and speaking your mind, not suppressing your thoughts when it comes to music. And, you know, it's important, especially in this day and age, you know, where everyone wants to tell you what to do and what's right and what's wrong, you know.
I mean, we're in control of our own destiny. So, I mean, if you let people tell you how to talk, when to talk, then you lose your ability to be yourself. So at the end of the day, like that I mean, that's what hip hop's always been about, expressing itself. So, I definitely agree with you on that. I was gonna ask you some questions because I know I don't want to hold you up too long, but I want to ask you some questions, get your point of view on some shit. So, do you think it's typically hard for artists such as yourself and like independent labels to really work against the social media algorithm?
Yes. Yeah. It's very hard. Yep. It's very, very hard. Yep, because we're up against competition of major corporations and big funding and just the nature of algorithms. I was just talking about this earlier. Here's an unfortunate thing. without giving specific examples, let's take a person who's creative for 10 years. Let's take someone who's a singer, and she's developing her ability to sing. And for 10 years, she's homing in on her capability of singing. She gathers like-minded musicians that are talented, gets a band. They spend 10 years doing band rehearsals, doing local shows, minimally promoting themselves so they can let people know, and they're getting a little following. Those people don't know algorithms. Those people are studio musicians. They're creative types. They spent that time. Now let's take this other person. He spent his whole time computer guy. He knows computers. He knows algorithms. He knows the search engine optimization. He knows how to utilize computers to benefit placement more. And this person's not creative. They got a MacBook. They got, GarageBand. They started making beats for fun. They put down a verse. Doesn't sound too bad. They decided to put it on the internet. That has X amount of views more, So yeah, it's an interesting thing. So to me, I'm like, yeah, you could be kind of a computer geek and get more exposure on these platforms than if you were a creative type. And I'll tell you this much: the creative types don't know algorithms. They don't know search engine optimizations because they're in the studio. They're making beats. They're writing lyrics. They're being creative. They're not studying computers. Then in this day and age, you're coming up against this new generation where all they did was study computers and understand phones and walk around with iPhones and know how to get, attention, and seeing this phone as just this source of attention. And how can I get attention? And I think the creative types aren't demanding attention. They want the music to be heard. Not more so than the music to be heard. They don't want to fall upon deaf ears, right? How does the music live if it's just sitting in, your own circle of people? You want it to get out there. You want to spread these ideas if that's what your intention is, So yeah, no, I think the algorithms, they do hurt independent artists, and I think they've hurt us, incredibly. When Spotify first started out, there was like minimal people, and we were all over. We were favored by algorithms, and then over the years, as these sites have flooded, you just see that shift doesn't go in our favor at all. We've had certain times in the YouTube days, man. We caught these random waves that made us a lot of money. And it got us a lot of exposure, got us a lot of royalties. But these waves were inconsistent. They came and go, So it's tricky, I constantly say, you could quote me. I've said it probably 3 times this week that I wish we had like a computer nerd in the crew. I wish we had someone that didn't do any music, that knew computers, that knew algorithms, that was their passion. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, and fortunately, the people that I gravitate to and that I tend to connect with are the creative type. And they don't even know what fucking algorithms are, it's none of this stuff. We're doing all this stuff randomly. We're just trying to keep up with social media, just trying to, it's tough, man. Yeah, it's interesting because we used to put out albums back in the early 2000s with minimal promotion at all, and they would sell out with the quickness, and now it's like almost like struggling to get more people's attention. It's like, what career would you be in for over 20 years where it got harder to promote what it is you're doing, and what you built up over that time didn't have value for what you're doing moving forward? It's a rare thing. Most careers, they build up and it gets better and easier for you. The music industry is a weird thing. It's a constantly changing thing, and we're diving into this full-on music era. Now we're going into this weirder point of this like AI, artificial intelligence, where now you can write lyrics like Eminem met Biggie and knew Tupac in 1994 to a DJ Premier beat on a rainy, and it'll like pump that out, and you can put it into something else to mimic you can literally create music, without the human component. And it's like, is that still music? I mean, maybe, but to me, again, the purpose of music is transcending emotion, and robots don't have emotion. So when you're just having words over rhythms, you're just taking away the human experience, and that's the whole point of music. Whatever genre music, and whether it's lowbrow or highbrow music, it's still some sort of expression of a person. And can a robot collect algorithms to come up with concepts of what a human experience is? Maybe someone would argue that. I would say no. And if it can, I don't care to hear that. That doesn't do anything for me. I don't even want to hear artists using auto-tune, get singers that spent their whole life singing. If you use it as a minimal tool, it's one thing, but now people just utilize, it's just lazy shit. Let's call it what it is. It's people being lazy. You know, people want to be it's instant gratification. How can I be an overnight? Like, I just want to be,
Very
you
much.
know, want the instant artist package. And that's not how it ever worked throughout history. These are skill sets, and people develop those skill sets over time, and you build that up and you learn. And we're getting further away from that, and then getting further away from that, we're going to take the soul out of music more and more, and that's dangerous. But then still, you've got great artists that carry the torch and do things. Something I've been listening to a lot lately is Kendra Morris, Coal Mine Records, my brother Kelly Finnegan, who I've worked with on all the Creative Juices projects and done the album Addicted to the Vision, you know, the Daptone Records and stuff like that. It's music that comes out now that's very much in the vein of an older style of music, but with a modern twist, and it's very heartfelt, good music that really moves you, gives you goosebumps, and resonates with your soul. You know what I mean? We all need that. We all need some sort of deeper connection. That's what music does. It can connect people, you know? And why would you want the connection with the robot and just the imaginary thing? We're just like escaping into this whole realm of just pure fantasy, right? And fantasy has its place in life, right? We all have our depictions of grandeur, but like, let's not just like escape reality, you know. Let's you know, I keep telling people like, yo, it's a great time to be a plumber, great time to be an electrician, you know. When everyone's a content creator and the fucking electricity goes out or your plumbing's backed up, you guess who gets to name the price, you know. So trades and skill sets, you know, go a long way. Everyone wants to be a content creator, everyone wants to have a YouTube page, everyone wants to do a blogger, all this stuff, you know. It's a good time to be a welder, a blacksmith. Go get some, you know, fucking craft that's no longer even being practiced. You're going to find yourself in a very, very important place in the next 10, 15 years, the way things are going. That's what I think.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I was going to say, when you when you want to hear a song, like, I kind of lost my train of thought with the whole plumber shit, because I definitely understand where you call it. Yeah, you, man.
Yeah. Tables turn. Tables turn. See the true value in things.
I was gonna say, so like when you listen to, maybe not even other people's music, but say if you wanted someone to listen to you, like your song, would you prefer them to watch the video attached with the song first, or would you rather than hear it through the Spotify, then connected with the visual aid later on?
Man, that is such a good question. What a good question. Wow. Honestly, I think I'd rather they heard it first without any visual kind of giving. I'd rather your mind went there first, so then you could create your own visual of who the person is, what that setting is, and whatnot. And then watch the video, and we're like, oh, that's their interpretation of how they saw it. Oh, I didn't see it that way. Oh, this is real colorful. To me, this is dark. She's talking about domestic violence, but yet here's this like whimsical kind of playful video, you know? So I kind of almost would prefer people heard the music first and let their imagination create it. You know, I think it's cool. Like the same thing about like if there's a book and a movie, like to have read the book first. Like you create the characters in your own mind, how they would look, and you create the settings in your own mind. And then it'd be interesting to see how a director or the author, you know, then translated that into a visual thing. It might be different than the way you saw it, but I think it's cool for people because also music's in the ear or eye of the beholder, right? And even an artist could have like intent for what they're saying in the context that could be taken so many other ways, right? You know, so many things can be said and they're interpreted metaphorically. So the listener plays a huge role as far as how they perceive it. You know, Halix could have a story about this, but it could be perceived this way and have this deep meaning. But then it's still, you know, you're taking something from the music that you needed, whether that was exactly what it was. So I think it's cool for people to have their own like visual and own personal interpretation. I think videos will slightly alter that because now you're seeing kind of, you know, force-fed or spoon-fed to you what the visual depiction is from the mind of the artist in some cases. But that's a really good question, man. That's a really, really good question.
Yeah, because I'll be thinking that sometimes too, because I'll be listening to the song and I, like you said, I kind of like my imagination kicks in. Like I can picture this, I can picture that. But then once the video hits, it's like, you know, so I'm not going to front. Sometimes it might let me down, But maybe it's because of the whole imagination point. Because you sitting here, someone's rapping about stabbing someone on the train. I'm actually picturing the train, but then they're rapping somewhere in the street. It completely took away from, you know what I'm saying, like the impact of what they were saying sometimes to me. So it's like I kind of feel what you said. I would rather listen to it, you know what I mean, and then you come with your own perspective of what you're doing with it. Because to be honest with you, it's kind of like adaptating, a book into a movie. Sometimes they could just completely just throw the whole entire shit off and just make a whole nother version of the shit that just completely ruins what you originally.
Well, that's a good point also. Like a lot of independent music suggests that there's not a big budget. So if you got 200, 400 bucks, how how much can go into the video? So it's like maybe that's not going to be the best representation. However, people are creative. I think with a camcorder, you can do really cool stuff. I've seen people do with no budget and do things that you're like, that's amazing. That's incredible. There's some, so it takes some creative aspects. But yeah, to what you're saying, man, the imagination and people's own depiction is such a powerful thing. Like a great example to that would be like low budget horror movies, right? If someone's going to get their head hit with a baseball bat, it's like, to do that low budget, it's going to look so corny if you got a dummy and all that. But all you do is you get that one scene of the guy swinging the bat, you got the next scene of the person, and then it goes to black.
Yeah,
and then your
exactly.
Filled in that horrific description, and what your mind did is so much more detailed than what some dummy and some like low budget effects could do, so it's cool to let the mind kind of go with these topics and these soundtracks, right? The music or soundtracks. So yeah, I think very cool question, man. That's dope. No one's ever asked me that.
I got one more for you before, I got one more for you, because like I just had to pick somebody's brain that kind of, because we definitely on the same wavelength. So it's hard for me to ask certain people these type of questions, because to them it'd be like, huh, like what, like So, let me ask you this question. Do you feel artists sometimes, like, you feel like they pick the wrong song to turn into a video?
I don't know enough. I can only speak from like the people around me, and then sometimes I'm involved with that, so it'd be biased for me to say. But I get so engulfed in the stuff that we do that I don't know. But yeah, picking the right song can be a big thing. And you know what? And even I can use myself as an example. I don't always pick often songs from projects I do that I like the most are not the songs that people that listen to the album like the most. And often songs that I'm like, that's kind of like almost didn't make the album kind of track will be the tracks that I get the most feedback about, So yeah, that's another good question, because it's tough to call, because I don't think I make that call very well. You know what I mean? There might be an obvious like, no, use that song. That would be, but to me, I'm like, no, but this song. So that's why you also need management, a good team, people that don't do music around you. Like, no, that song, bro, I hear what you're saying, but that song is the one that you do, So yeah, it's tough to call just yourself. That's why it's good to have good creative minds around you, or people that are just from a completely, get the mom opinion. Like, nah, like that song's good. Just a total random out of perspective opinion can go a long way too.
Word, I agree with that. Shit, I had one more thing I was gonna. Oh man, I had one more thing I was gonna say. Cause like my brain be floating sometimes, so it's hard for me to get things out. But what was I gonna say though? Shit. Oh, so are you currently looking for artists? I was gonna ask you that actually.
I would say no, not to be, I know it sounds kind of dismissive, but no, not looking for artists to work with, just because I spread myself too thin and I'm doing too much already. And I have a list of things that I can't get to, unfortunately. I wish that I had a couple more interns and a couple more people that were just engineers, and I'm very meticulous and take my time, and I don't like to do just songs and I put together. So I'm so hands-on. Everything that's going on with Creative Juices, I'm very hands-on right now. And it's just not enough time in the day. If it got to the point where we got more people in the studio on a daily basis regularly, and we can have a formula where this person's engineering this project and we can pump things out, I'm definitely open to it, and not to sound like I'm a closed door, but you know, like Skanks is someone new that I'm working with, but this has also been like a kind of building up for years and back and forth and like, oh, you know, we should do something. And then eventually it happening and him being at the studio recently for an event and just, you know, things kind of happen, like I said, organic. But, yeah, I would just say because I'm a little bit overwhelmed with all the stuff that I'm doing, and I'm also trying to be very focused. That in the past that I would say yes to everything, and I'd work with a million things, and I just had so many loose ends, and I really want to follow through. I see a lot in Halix, so I'm putting a lot of effort and attention in Halix. You know, Jace and Alucard are my brothers, so they always have my full undivided attention with everything that they're doing, and we just continue to work. And you know, I've got a list of, like you mentioned before, Sofa, there's Marv One I've got a project with. I've got and a couple of these projects are already kind of starting to linger, and I'm not getting up. I put too much focus into this. You know, the sad thing is you're just one person or you're just one team, and there's only so much you can do. So in my mind, and back in the day, like, yo, we had a roster of 30 people. You know, I was trying to work with everyone, you know, and I learned the hard way. You know, that just led to total exhaustion and problems with the IRS and just, man, shit you wouldn't believe. But so I try to be a little bit more focused, and I'm also, as I get older, I'm 41 years old now, I realize the value to your own energy, and how important that is. So I try to preserve my energy, and I know if I just take on every project, I give so much with these projects, like even the mix and mastering, and that's something I am always available. So mixing and mastering, anyone can hit me up. I do charge for that. You know, I have production available. That is a way to work with me, and that is a way in the door to work with me, because if that goes well, then I'm interested. And I have had artists that have bought beats from me that I'm like, man, this is really good. Let's work. You know what I mean? Like, let's, you know, I like what I'm hearing. But yeah, generally I'm not looking for new artists, just for the simple reason that I'm really trying to be focused, preserve the energy for the projects that I am working on. And there was probably 5 more albums that should have came out last year in the way that I planned it, and they're still kind of lingering into this year. So I'm always a little bit behind with what my kind of set goals are. So I just want to stay on top of things that I'm doing. But at the same time, man, anyone could always hit me up. You know, like I'm an accessible person. Yeah. So you can always get at me. But like, yeah, mixing, engineering, production, it's a great way to start a conversation. I make those all available for everyone, and I do not charge an arm and a leg. I know what it's like to be an independent artist. I got reasonable rates. People want to do package deals. I work with everyone. So that's always an option. Just to throw that. That's, you know, a little bit of a shameless plug for sure, but just, you know, throwing that out there so that if it seems like I'm not accessible as far as working, of course, anyone can work with me in that regard. So I do put out there, and I'm going to start doing something like, you know, I've been making beats for 25 years, and I've got beats that I made for projects that didn't make projects that go back even 10 years to different chapters of my progression as an artist. And I'm going to start putting those on Bandcamp, like $200, $300, buy the beat all in. You don't even need to speak to me. You get all rights. You can just go buy it. It's completely yours. So I'm going to start doing some more things like that. I want to give some opportunities just for fun for other people that maybe want to work that it just doesn't line up to work. And yeah, some cool stuff like that. Just so and then also I do put out instrumental albums and things like that. So, you know, if artists are that hype about kind of working with that sound, you've always got those instrumentals that you can go and have fun with and tag me in it. I'm going to listen for sure, you know? So, yeah. But we're gonna get you this year. I know you got those. We're gonna get you in the mix, man. You got to come out to the studio. Like I said, you got to come out to the studio. We got to really get us. You got to come out to the studio. But we're gonna get you in the mix. I know you said your son's got some beats and stuff too. So we're gonna definitely. It's on my mind. Believe me, it is, man. I just every day that I'm there, I'm like, I got this list of things to do. But we're gonna make that happen. Believe me, we've been.
Yeah, that's why I don't ever take like that's the other part of the game. I feel like people take things too much to the heart, man. Like it's like
Nah, that's not a personal thing. No, nothing about it's personal. Yeah,
it's more so. It's more so because like prime example, like I know you enough to know that you're always busy. So wow, you know, like I wouldn't be like, oh well, he overlooked me, this and that. But I know a lot of artists would be otherwise be like, oh well, he's ignoring me. You know what I'm saying? But me, it's like
I've had people catch
but like at the end of the day, like.
Kind of shows a little something.
The cold shoulder and shit, but you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you a good dude, man. Like outside the music, like so.
Big Nagus. What up,
You
Nagus?
know what I mean? Like I said, 'cause
Crazy.
I try to talk to Jason at least once a week because he a busy man too. Like I know y'all, man, and y'all good dudes, and like that's why I said anything I can do to help, man. You can tag me in anything you got. You can tag me 100 times a day. I'm gonna fucking post it up. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's we even though I'm not creative juices, but we still a team because we fam. You know what I mean? So any way I can help,
No, no, we're
you know what I mean?
definitely
So
rocking. You already are, man, and I see you doing it. And I appreciate you, spotlighting some of the stuff that we're doing, giving the platform for all of us. It means a lot, man. Thank you very much. And we'll definitely connect the dots and get some of the production from your sons and stuff. We'll get those in the mix, definitely, man. We got those Friday sessions where it's just a bunch of MCs looking for something to work with, and the
no
right
doubt,
time
no
we're gonna make that happen,
doubt. So
definitely.
before we head out, you want to mention any new projects or anything that people should be looking at forward to?
Yeah, we just say as far as new stuff, like today we put out a single. We're doing a series, like one. My new alias has been Shanty Gallows that I started putting music for the last year under, and that's kind of just a little separate thing that I'm doing. And we're putting out now pretty much me, Jice, and Alucard every week putting out a single, and we're doing them exclusively through Bandcamp, and then they're going to come out as an album on all platforms. But we're doing it as a focus where people can just go listen to it. And also, like I said before, I mentioned anyone that wants to hit me up, I got free download links for everyone that sends me a direct message after the interview. And yeah, man, I would just promote that we're doing singles on a weekly basis. I would really encourage people to please subscribe, hit the YouTube, subscribe. We're gonna have videos on a regular basis. I promise it'll be worth your while. We're not spamming that stuff with junk. We're gonna have giveaways, new videos, kind of some studio ciphers and behind the scenes stuff. We're gonna try to get some more cool content as we get more organized. House of Helix 2 is in the mix. That's gonna be something really special. It's gonna have some cool features in that, and there's a project with Word Life that's got a feature with nature. The project with Sofa King that's got Benny the Butcher from the Griselda movement. That's, everyone knows all about that. And we got a couple things, man. We're sitting on so much stuff, man. I promise there's really cool stuff. So yeah, just hit the like, subscribes, hit us with a message, like reach out to us, man. We're here. We love to hear from everyone. We respond back. Like you said, we're down to earth people. We like to touch base with people. So yeah, get at us, man. That's what I say. I'm promoting everything, not anything specifically. I'm just promoting, the whole creative juices shit, and yeah, man, that's about it. There's gonna be more announcements throughout the year. I draw a
Yeah,
blank with so much shit, but
y'all
yeah.
able to come on whatever you want. So you already know. You already know what time it is, man. But yeah, for everybody out there, man, don't be scared. Just send an inbox them. You know what I mean? Y'all some of the coolest cats out here, man. And you know what I'm saying? The people need to pay more attention to that. Not even just as you guys being dope artists or dope productions or whatever it is. It's also at the same time you guys are good dudes, like, you know what I mean? And I think you're good brothers.
Appreciate
So
it.
like definitely
Likewise.
I can't wait to
Thank
see
you, man.
what y'all got coming out because I already like what y'all got. Like it's hitting the right nerve, especially for me as a fan. It's hitting the right nerve because it's like, yo, this shit hot. Like I can't wait to see what else is coming. But yeah, man, all your hard work is definitely is paying off because, like I said,
Thank you,
so
man.
but
Thank you.
definitely we go we
Fine
gonna
three, yeah. Yeah, man. And thanks everyone in the comments. I see a whole bunch of people checking in. Anyone that we missed, yeah. Shout out. Yeah, much love to everyone. Thank you for checking in. Like I said, everyone hit me with direct. I got free
no
downloads for
doubt,
everyone.
yeah, we
Shaluko!
definitely. And then when you drop another project, man, we run this back and shit. Like I was gonna have, like I said, I was gonna have Jice out here, but I'm pretty sure old man Jice over there, you know what I mean? He ready to pack it in and shit. Man,
It's past his bedtime. He's still
he
hanging in there.
drank that warm milk. He ready to call it a night. He done. So you know what I mean.
He's getting his prune
So
juice.
you know what I mean. But peace and blessings to Alucard too, man. Jason, you know what I mean. Helix, Sofa King,
Yeah, man.
man. Y'all's a
Yeah,
great
man.
team, man, and y'all all good people. So word. But yeah, next time we're gonna get Jason Alucard back out here. You know what I mean. Definitely, so we can discuss more about
Yeah,
what
that'd be
y'all doing
great.
and shit. But yeah, appreciate the time, bro. And you know what I'm saying. And drop this on YouTube soon. I'm gonna Yeah, keep trying to push more people to your page, man. Cause like I feel like they need to be watching the videos. Like they need to stop fucking around and just just go on the page. It takes 2 seconds.
And we're trying to do stuff for the fans, and like I said, have the weekly content, have weekly songs, have more music videos. We've definitely slacked as far as music videos in the past. We've got more in production. There's the new Sofa King music video. My man rented a wrestling ring. It's a whole
Yeah.
production, man. Definitely check that out. That's on YouTube. The Benny the Butcher single's coming. The other single with Spit Gems, Rob Swift on the
Mm.
cuts. There's some really great stuff, man. There's some cool music for people that like the independent hip hop. Yeah, man, definitely check the page out. We're posting stuff all the time. And yeah, that's about it, man. I'm gonna get out of here, go get a drink, eat some food, chill out. But
No
I
doubt, no
appreciate you,
doubt.
man.
Appreciate the time, but I appreciate everything you do for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it out there. Like
Yeah,
it's
man.
definitely it's mutual
Nah, much
respect and
love.
mutual love and shit. So you know what I mean? But definitely, yo,
100%.
appreciate the time, man. I'm gonna hit you up in a few minutes and whatnot.
No doubt, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, for checking in, man. Come and check us out. CreativeJuicesMusic.com, or it's actually CJMHipHop.com, at Shanty Gallows, at CJM Hip Hop. Yeah, man, we always got something in the
No
mix.
doubt,
Come and
brother.
check
I'll
us
check
out.
you in a few, yo. All right, peace,
All
brother.
right, peace, man.
Yeah, that was the homie Shanty Gallows from the Creative Juices Music team. You know what I mean? Be sure to subscribe to their page, man. I'm telling you, their videos are fucking crazy, yo. Like some of the best videos I've seen in like a while. Cause like it's very creative. It's some shit you wouldn't expect. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the singles they've been dropping, man. Check out the CJM hip hop page on here. You know what I mean? Follow and check out the latest singles they drop in Alucard, Jice One, you know what I mean? Shanty Gallows. I keep wanting to call him ID because you know what I'm saying, that was the old name, but yeah, Shanty Gallows, this shit. Once again, also, you know what I mean? They got the shirts on the website and shit, Creative Juices Music, you know what I'm saying? Some fly shit. Check out the singles, all the albums on there, you know what I mean? Inbox them if you need any more details about shit. But yeah, once again, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Shout out, shout out to the sponsors. You know what I mean? Snow Goons, Creative Juices Music, of course. Lee Sound International, Blazing Radio, Vinyl Frontier, Smile the Ghetto Child. You know what I mean? Usual suspects and shit. But yeah, I'm gonna check y'all next week and appreciate all y'all. Peace.